we tend to be with social media more and more lonely. And I think we won't be socially lonely. So I think even though we actually on our phones or our tablets, we want to interact physically at least with some people. I think some of the biggest accomplishment we've had was just maybe the sheer growth that we've had. I think first of all we've brought the company to a level that is starting to be recognized at not just a regional level, but maybe international level. We start to be contacted for large-scale projects within Asia, within Africa as well. I think this is something that we had planned for at least after 5 years, and that came a little bit earlier than we expected. And then just the sheer size of the company. I mean, we have grown quite a bit over the past year. We were about 12 when we started. We're now over 20, and we've signed quite a few large-scale projects, which we hadn't planned for as well. So we had some large projects in Saudi Arabia, through hotel with Starwood Group. We have some other properties with Kempinski and Hilton. So I think it's the sheer size and what we're looking towards for next year as well. I think so. This is really kind of the growth, I would say. I personally think a company should not get bigger, we have grown beyond 15 because we did not want to reject projects that we felt really were important for us. The project that excited us. So we've signed about 4 growth projects over the past 12 months. So those are actually quite exciting projects, not just because they're quite edgy brands and they're very much in trend and so on, but they pushed us to rethink the way we're designing. We thought of ourselves as slightly classic hospitality designers, maybe in a bad way. And I think the fact that we've been taken on board with Rove push us to really rethink everything, the functionalities, the interactions, the items that actually are marking the brand. So that was some of the really exciting projects, and now 4, maybe 5, if we're lucky, is really something that we've done. So we've not only been able to do one, but we've proven that we actually are capable of being creative, and that has forced us to hire a lot of young designers who are pushing us around as well as managers. So this is quite a healthy process. We've signed with in Mecca, a very large project with 3 towers, about 38 floors, if I'm not mistaken, with Kempinski and Hilton. Hilton Embassy by Hilton, which is a very interesting brand coming from Asia, or coming back from Asia. So quite something fairly proud of. We also have signed with a Spanish architectural firm in Riyadh, a very large complex with Starwood. There we have a West End executive apartment and a 4-star brand from Starwood as well. I think that we're being pushed because we have a large team, big investors. We're really pushed to go beyond what we would do otherwise, and we have a bit of time. So I think we've managed to get smaller project, fast-track project, and very large project. So that was actually quite a healthy mix that we've had. In terms of trends, I think everything becomes a lot more transient. I mean, the spaces are starting to mix within another. I mean, a lobby becomes a lot more like a business class airport hub than it was before. So I think the space is less segregated, and I think this is because customers don't want to go just in a restaurant or wait in the lobby. I think there's really that life that has been brought to the public space within the areas, and I think it was not just from the operator's point of view, but it was really a demand from the customer. I mean, we tend to be with social media more and more lonely, and I think we won't be socially lonely. So I think even though we actually on our phones or our tablets, we want to interact physically at least with some people, and I think that has had an impact on the way we work. We see the arrival of external groups that actually rent spaces within hotel lobbies just to have hot desks. So again, people don't want to work in their room or in their apartments. They want to come in a place where they interact and there's some kind of exchange. So that's actually quite interesting. I think we're really seeing that social movement taking over the public space, and that forces us as designers to be a lot more creative when defining the space as well. So I think everything kind of mixes in. You have pockets of intimacy within a very large and activated space. And that's quite interesting. I think we go towards what offices have been doing for a couple of years. I think before the companies that were successful in the hospitality industry were very, very large companies. People actually had the capacity to demonstrate that they could line up 50 employees on a project. And I think this is something that is changing. It's been changing for quite a while, but we see smaller firms like ours, 20, 25, maybe 30 people, up to 50 people, being a lot more in demand within the hospitality industry. Especially people who are focused and specialized because we do it fairly quickly. But I think it's just because the operators want to make sure that they have direct contact with the leadership of a company and they want to be able to impact that. So I think we now see ourselves competing against companies from New York, from London, from Singapore, even though we're a small local Dubai-based firm. And I think that has come, and we see all the big operators are repeatedly highlighting the fact that they want to have a little bit smaller firm to work with. So they can control it, there's a lot more of an exchange, there's a lot more of common design process than just having something too far away that might not be the decision maker. I mean, if any operator or any client calls MMAC Design, they'll speak with the owner, one of the partners, and say, listen, you guys said you were going to deliver on that date, and we will deliver on that day. So I think the contact and the relationship is a lot easier to manage for investors, hospitality operators. So that's really also a shift I see. The company from Dubai has a lot of credit because they're competing against so many very talented designers, then they actually can be exported a lot easier. The other two reasons I can see is a lot of investors are coming through Dubai, so I think through that they get to know about us. And in our case, we're doing hotels, a lot of the operators are based here and, as well. And I think that naturally brings that up there. So the standards, the contacts, and the location are really the points that really allow designers to spread their wings. We often compete against each other in Azerbaijan or in Kenya, and it's quite exciting.